Hello and welcome, you amazing person. My name is Rob. I'm the Mining Gaming Guy. In today's video, we'll be taking a deep dive into my new map, Up and Down the UK, which is quite an ironic name because it's just a ginormous loop. This map has been designed so it can hold a lot of traffic. I'm trying to keep it very CPU efficient and graphic minimalistic. So that's why you get some crazy shapes and buildings here and there. But we do that for good reasons. This map is designed for one thing and one thing only. Going around a motorway or highway or whatever you want to call it with lots of traffic so we can experience some of that swimming, no hessy fun in beamng.drive. This map features a few biome areas. One being this beautiful woodland area, some sort of nice reflective river road thing. I don't know what this area is, but it looks beautiful. And of course, a super high efficient, high detailed city. No, it's very low poly. It's just there for the background and gives you some sort of sense of speed. And it really does work and do its trick. And then at the very bottom of the mountain, for no reason, the motorway, goes through in a tunnel. The only thing I haven't worked out yet is how to make the tunnel reverb. If you're a beamng guy and you know how to make this area reverb, please tell me, because that's definitely something I want to know. And a random side city. I don't know why this is here. It probably shouldn't be. It's a bit random having a city over there and a bit one over here, but it helps. It's nice. It gives you some sort of reference of where you are on the map. The CPU I have is a 3070, I think, and I am able to run 30 to 50 cars depending on what sort of graphics settings I want, and I get still over 60 frames per second, which is what the bare minimum you want to be getting if you're running a steering wheel like I am. I have a Thrustmaster T300 just in case you're wondering. All my other stats and things are also in the description if you're wondering what the rest of my PC's configuration is. And yeah, I'm happy. It's doing okay. The only thing that kind of get upset is sometimes the cars spawn in big groups. When you go around so fast, it just kind of comes around. But I'm going to be talking about that in the future. We're going to be having a look at what sort of settings you should be putting your car on, and maybe a mod that you can get that helps give you some less memory intrusive cars. I wanted to go give you a little brief breakdown of how I built these buildings, these floors, these mountains, and anything else that you see. This is definitely not your typical beamng map, because about 99% of this was made in Blender. I have not used the terrain height map yet. I might use it at some point, but not sure. I was trying to keep it memory friendly. And obviously the height map has lots of different pixels and vertices and nodes and stuff. And if you start shaping it like I've done with these mountains, it's going to end up eating some of your frames per second. So I tried to limit the amount of, what would you call it, pixels it has to display. Because obviously if I had this mountain over here is 1,000 like vectors or whatever they're called, it has a load more in. But if I have it as 12, it only has a load 12 in. You get what I'm trying to say. If you're not using it, I made it very low poly. And then the closer you get to the road, more high poly things will get. Because these things in the distance, they really are not much, but they look okay from far away. I wouldn't drive like this, but at the moment I've got 100 cars spawned in. And they're working, they're driving around perfectly fine. But obviously you can see there's some frame droppage just by sitting and looking at it, so I wouldn't recommend driving in it. But as a little, proof of concepts, there you go. If you've got a better PC than me, maybe you can run 100 cars and still drive about. Because I still need to improve my PC. But yes, doing very well. I have got some things planned for the future, but you'll have to stick around and I'll tell you about those later on in the video. And the main thing that's missing from this traffic, lorries and HGVs and just big stuff like vans. That's what you see on the motorway. Half this traffic should be them. Annoyingly. You catch it at just the right time and it actually almost looks like proper motorway traffic. The only thing I wish I could do is kind of control their behaviour. Like, it'd be nice if they went a little bit slow on the left, a little bit faster on the right, and even faster on the very right. just because that's the nature of the UK motorway. And then obviously you want the odd middle lane hogger. It'd be good if I could get to overtaking things, but I think that would take a lot more effort, as beamng doesn't have left-hand drive built into it. I thought I'd have a look at my frames per second. I realise I'm on ultra graphics as well. 100 cars. I'm still getting 10, 15 frames per second. But obviously I'd normally probably crank it down to normal. Probably should have paused the game. Okay, yeah, do it to normal. And then this game doesn't have any grass, so this can go. I normally get rid of that. Tire marks are not too important. If I'm really want to push the cars and I'll probably deselect some of this stuff. Get rid of the bloom and the light rays and the depth of fields. And then your frames should go up a little bit. Oh god, I'm still only getting 15 frames. I suppose that is because I have got 100 cars. Doesn't really help. I wanted to really have a little play though, see what it would feel like driving around 100 cars, but I know it's just going to be not impossible. It's just going to feel very bad. Okay, before we go through the map, I reckon I will have a little play, just for those that don't really want to know how the map was made. They just wanted a little preview and wanted to know if they should download it themselves. So what I'm going to do is set up my traffic. Now I use the realistic simplifier traffic mods, whatever that thing's called. And I like to set it up to the EU, obviously, because we're in the UK. I'm going to put it up to probably 20 cars. I normally go more, but I'm recording, so I don't think the PC will be able to handle loads more. I don't want to use polling, don't need to do that. That's like having some cars rotating around when they spawn. What else? We got the UI AI settings, right? Aggressiveness. I tend to put this up, but it's really up to you how you have this. To probably make some. I was trying to make them go faster. That's why I used to have it up really high. So it doesn't really matter too much because I've only got one lane, so I'm not going to be trying to change lanes or overtake each other. They just kind of get caught up behind each other, which is very annoying. I wish they didn't do it. I wish I could work a way out so they could have more lanes, but beamng does not like left-hand drive. No, I'm going to do right-hand drive and just have it, because it's only on one side of the road. It could get confusing though if we ever come up to make junctions. Anyway, I'm rattling on. Right, I tend to put the AI spawn rate lowest possible. Now what this does, if I was to put the debug mode on, you can see when they spawn in and when they spawn out. If you have it up very high, they spawn out very soon, and they don't stay in the game very long. So when you normally have your cinematic sim shots, you see them disappear, and I don't like that, so I put the rate really low. And it also means they spawn in further away from you, and it gives them a chance to get up to speed before you get to them, which I always find very annoying. You're going really fast and you're just a car dead in the road because he's just pulling up and getting some speed. So I recommend, best tip probably is to put the ratio down on that one. So yeah, I think we're all good to go, and we're going to spawn in our traffic. Boom, that didn't take too bad. Let me have a look at my frames per second. We're averaging 60. Not the best, but like I said, I'm recording, so it's not going to be the most happiest. Now what you want to do is pick a silly fast car, or the car that you've been desired to drive around. I'm going to pick one that's got some serious top end, just because it's fun to drive this thing, and a bit chaotic and dangerous. You may have been watching some of my shorts recently. Right, let's change my seat. You're going to turn to my little sim rig. There we go. Awesome. And then we'll have a little drive around, shall we? I better turn that audio down so that loop over. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I tend to spawn it in. Yeah, of course it's sequential, isn't it? And wait a little bit for the traffic to start looping back round, and then we'll have a little bit more fun. Now, obviously, I've only got 20 cars in, so we go have a bit of a gap every so often, because obviously my spawn rate is set very high. You might want to tweak it up, like tweak it here and there for yourselves, get it to act the way you want it to. There we are, already hitting 200 miles per hour. We're just leaving the city now. We've got some houses on the left and the right, and we're going into the woodland area that I collated. It's a bit boisterous, the traffic, lovely. It's actually not a bad number. No, they don't seem to be bogging up. So the idea of this map was to make it very low detail. Oh no, get out into that lane. No, spot it, no! Okay, oops. We'll just put a new spawn point there. That's okay. And we're up again. Lovely stuff. Yes, so everything you see has been made in Blender by me. I use a few fun tricks of array and follow the path line to make these very fun open roads very quickly as well. So I might be doing a tutorial soon on how to make these roads yourself and how you can maybe customize these roads so then you can use them yourself in your own maps. There's a car there. Okay. Which you are allowed to do, by the way. If you ever download my maps, feel free to use any of the assets in it. You have my permission. I make things for everyone. I just feel if you have some spare change, please join my Patreon. It'll be very, very nice of you to help support me and make me make more maps. I do have a full-time career and family, so I don't obviously get as much time as I wish. But hey, you never know. One day maybe I'll get enough support that I can leave my job and just make maps for you all. Day in, day out, just make maps, beautiful, fun maps. We're now in the tunnel, by the way, underneath a ginormous mountain. You do tend to get a bit more frames per second in here because you have less to spawn in. So maybe if you want a really high-intensive traffic map, it's to build it in a tunnel. So I might have to do that one day. We'll call it Under the Channel. I'm sure they had planned to do that. Maybe did they do that? Did they build a bridge? Oh no, there's traffic. Did they build a tunnel for driving? I know you've got the train tunnel, the Eurostar. I'm sure they were planning to build one for drive. Anyway, maybe we should do it. And then have some fun highway. Because then obviously, like, one of the things that winds up as well, I was going to do in Blender is have fake traffic on the other side of the roads, so it always look busy, because obviously at the moment the traffic's only spawning on one side, which is, you know, it's okay for playing in, but when you're making videos it doesn't look as good. I suppose if we're in a tunnel where there's only one lane of traffic, you wouldn't be able to see the other side. So yeah, I think that might be my next map idea. Let me know in the comments below if that's something you want to see. So that's the loop. We are back around now to the start of the map. And we're sending it at 200 miles an hour. I'll let you see the little city I've created just to try and give us illusion of speed. Because I think it works. Could probably make this map twice as long if I wanted to and start adding some junctions. Things I am planning to add in the future is the spawn points could be a petrol station. I think that would be quite a good idea. But basically where you've seen me spawn already, I'm going to add somewhere where we can all congregate and plan our little runs together. That was ballsy. That was a wall. That's a car. Okay. Something's broken. We're going to send it. We're sending it. Okay, we're sending it into a wall. So that was a little preview of the map for you. Now you've been introduced to the map, I think it's time to push F11 and visit the world editor and take a little deep dive into how this map became to be a map. So, how did we start with this map? Well, normally you start with a height map, which is your little bit of terrain which you can morph and change and put things on top of. But that's, I don't even know where that is. Where is my height map? Let me have a quick look. I know it's about somewhere. Terrain? Over here somewhere. Why are you doing all the way over here? What are you doing? There you go. There's a random block of terrain, not being used, just sitting over here. I might use it, but obviously it comes with its drawback. Where am I going? Where am I going now? Its drawbacks. This outer map is from driving place. What's the one called? Automation driving something? No. Test driving? Driving something? Driver training? I'm trying to remember what the map's called. That's the assets I borrowed. That's where the background comes in, which I do like. Just takes away the edge most of the time and gives you less of a flatter horizon. And what else have I borrowed from the other thing? Trees! There we go. We borrowed the trees. The forestry tool. You can put forestry tool on 3D objects. So that's how we got the forestry tool. We use them. It's just oak at the moment, I think. Just put all those oak trees in. Probably should mix it up, actually. And that's it. And that's what we started with. And how did we get to this? Well, the next thing we made was this. No, this. There we go. Let me move it up for you. Whoa! I probably should pause the traffic. They might get a bit unhappy. There we go. I made this. I made one section, lights to here. In Blender, did the shaping. I put an array on, which multiplies it on a straight line, and then rendered it off. And that was my first road. And then I made a U-bend. And exactly the same way, but I use a curve tool. I made a nice round curve that come back round. And then I just basically copied and pasted 2 of those out and made a big loop. And then, yeah, had my road sorted. But then I realised on my playbacks, if your camera was over here, you had things underneath, and it just didn't look good. It looked quite terrible, in fact, to watch. So I had to try and add some things around the edges, just to try and take it up. That's when I started making these things, these buildings. There's just little modular squares, cubes. I got the pictures offline from a pack, and just made some random cubes. You build them up, and then you got your backdrops of citiness. You can make them big, small, and stuff. And yeah, got the more detailed ones on the inside that you try and do. And but you know, you're driving past really fast. It really doesn't matter too much. You're not exactly going right up to them and thinking, "Hey, can I go in here?" But, yeah, it's done all right. But yeah, I want to put the petrol station in somewhere on this side, so you can go in and out. And in the future, we could always extend this map out so it goes even further out, and then add some junctions. You know, like the expressway. Now, I like water, I really do. That's why I had to throw it in there. I've got one ring going around the outside like this. This is a high detailed reflection ring, and a less detailed reflection ring on the inside. I wonder if you can see when you go low. Does it really change? Can't really see from that block there. Yeah, not really too much. But yeah. Probably not a good idea to have water in here, because it does take up a lot of the CPUs. We can probably have more traffic without it. Like I say though, we're going to make a new map. It's just a ginormous tunnel. I think that's going to be on my next one. And then we should be able to get some really good good scenes, because I'll put some lights in it as well, so we get some good cinematic feeling from it. Obviously we made a tunnel. That was pretty easy. Same sort of method as making the roads, but with a obviously outside edge. You can even see that I copied the roads. Has it still got the lights in there? It's got some part of the lights in there. I just copied the road and put a big square over it, and then I knew it would fit hopefully perfectly in place with this one, which it does. It lines up okay. You can barely tell where the joints are. This mountain definitely needs some work, maybe some art. Just colour it in. I think that's what it needs to do. Paintbrush tool and make it look more textured and fun rather than just multiple bits of grass everywhere. And that'll look okay. But yeah, all this was just made in Blender. Just smashed it out. Didn't want to go too crazy with detail. This edge here was, well, the road, this corner road here did start the same way as the main one. It's just like, when we saw it when I lifted it up, it was just a road and a couple of edges. But now oh, that's not what I did. It is a different bit. So what I did, I went into Blender, where this model was, made a new file, and then around the edge of it, I made these. I knew they'd perfectly line up, you see. And then I got my backdrops. And then, yeah, you can put your trees on it. Put my trees on it to help break the sharp edges up. And yeah, very nice. And then there's no camera that's going to be too far away to not see what you're doing. I learned a lot making this map. I made it reasonably quick, so hopefully we'll be able to smash out loads of maps now in this sort of style. I'll be happy with them. Just to try and get some highway fun. I also like making drift maps. If you've not seen that, feel free to go see some of my older videos. And that's it. I think I've shown you everything you need to see, really, about the new map. Hopefully you guys go have a little play and enjoy it, and send me some of your videos and show me how cool you think it is. I have got future plans for it, like changing the texture of this to have some grass and stuff on it. Maybe line these out properly so they're actually in the formation of a city rather than just roundly plotted around. And then we could even maybe add some junctions that split off. I don't see why you couldn't drive on this. I don't think I'm going to add traffic to it, but you can use it for a drift zone, I guess. Do some drifty roos. I have made it so the collision is visible. Ignore this stuff. I do want to change it. I was tempted to have some farm fields and crops and stuff. I do need to change the sky still. And the sun is ginormous. But I wanted to save it and make a copy of this map, because last time I did that I broke the game. I like to make it more UK because this looks tropical. It doesn't look like the UK. It looks UK on a very, very ridiculously hot day when everyone's moaning. This map should be more like these sort of tones, but like a little bit brighter, and then it feels more like UK. A little bit more miserable looking in the weather side of things. But yeah, we just need to sort out bits like that. Add some audio. I'd like to add some reverb to the tunnel, and that'll be this map practically good to go. Obviously, any sort of project, like a project car, the project never ends. There's always ways we can improve it and add on to it in the future, if we decide to. But at least we've got a nice basic ground that works and people can have fun on and get used to. And then one day it'll be, hey, here's version 2. And we'll just have a huge extension. Because there's no reason I couldn't just flip this over, put a nice like wide junction in there, have it so you can go left and just do a big giant figure of 8. There's no harm in doing that. But like I say, maybe we should work on the tunnel next. Because I want to just optimize a map that's just so memory friendly that you can just have a ridiculous amount of cars on. And that has been a Manic Map deep dive. I hope you enjoyed this new spring of content of mine, a little map review rather than a map tutorial. Obviously, if there's anything you need to learn that I haven't already shown, or if there's something you need to learn and I've shown, I can direct you to that video, or even make a video to show you how to do it. I'm tempted to show you how to make this motorway road. If that is something you want to see, do drop a comment in the bottom and I'll get on with it. I think my next one might be how to make a tunnel though, because that's definitely something that's on my mind. Keep it real, stay safe, and share the love. Bye-bye.